I knew he's gonna wild out and he's gonna do something crazy. Everybody want to know what I would do if I didn't win. I guess we'll never know.
What's up, guys? Rio Capital. I'm here to give y'all a video that y'all were requesting Friday, and kind of what I'm kind of seeing some issues around the community with sizing. I think sizing is the number one thing some of y'all are having a lot of issues with. Trading with the levels, and then I guess knowing when to take profit and things like that. I've already made a lot of videos like this, but I'm gonna condense all that into one off of kind of some of the previous trades we just took, right? So example here being Thursday for Apple, right? Apple was already excessively weak, kind of going into this whole week, right? We see this on Wednesday, it bear flag. So Thursday was an obvious setup for me as I'm kind of watching this setup, right? I'm watching the setup on Thursday with the market pulling back. I noticed that, Apple is here breaking out downward of the bear flag. And so that's a huge thing, right? You get a fresh break like this on a 15 or hourly. You can see how we opened up under it at the 215 level. So again, you need to have your levels, right? I already had this 215 level. Notice how we dumped out of this supply, 221, 220, came down to this 218, 217. I have a supply there. We fell out of that and came down to the 215 where it bounced back to this zone. Notice how it retested the top, rejected, came back down to 215 end of day. Lowercase h pattern here in this bear flag, gap down, you see that pre-market. So I saw that, I kept an eye on it, and I was really confused on where the market would go. After we started shorting, I was looking for our second major play for Apple. And so I noticed kind of as it opened up, it did retest the top of the flag, rejected, came down a little bit more, saw that it was trying to hold at a 215 level, but I needed this to break. Notice how it is under the level, right? And it finally did break on this candle where it again retested up here, rejected. The difference of what I'm saying here is this is a higher conviction setup, right? This is something you would be sizing up on, knowing that this is a flag break, lowercase h pattern playing out, because we've played that a million times. I played it a million times and I know how it should go. So if I know if it's going against me, what would happen. So this is something you would size up on. And I'm definitely gonna go over Monday's trades. I think it was Monday or Tuesday where it went against us and why I knew it would bang. Anyways, I already made a video about that too. Go look at it, but I'll go briefly over that. Notice how when Apple ended up on the hourly, look, this is the 15 minute. Notice how the 15 minutes going by. I didn't enter this until the hourly opened up. Once the hourly opened up under the 215.20 level right here, notice how we pushed up a little bit, but I mean on the hourly, you can see from there, we're dropping all the way down to the 210 level. And if you look on the 15, right, we look back, you can see which candle that was. And it was exactly either this candle or that candle. So once from there, you can see just allow time, to happen, give it some time and just let it drop. Notice how we fell down to the 210 level, which is exactly what I was calling for our target, right? I tweeted that out and let the members know we entered those puts. We got those 210 puts, right? And so we got those 210 puts probably like around $100, whatever, and they ran to over 200. Yeah, so got it for $107, 210. I knew we would hit this 210 level right here, either today, tomorrow. Notice how we did exactly that day. Popped up a little bit, came right back down even lower. So this is just one of those moments where don't let 2 15-minute candles scare you out. Notice how those went completely parabolic after that. We were all out of those puts. Obviously, we hit target down here. I don't need it to hit it to a T. As long as we're right there, I'm all out. Capitalize on the delta push as we're pushing down into that level, right? So this is an example you should be sizing up on, right? An example of sizing down would be, let's go with something like this, where maybe yesterday we're already on our third play, right, and we're seeing nothing but chop maybe on QQQ, and then we try something like here for maybe a demand bounce, and notice how it did bounce up back from right here we did, defend this demand. And notice how, we did push back up here. And you would still have won, but how would you have known to sell? Well, you need to be trimming into the move, guys. I have this set of rules for a reason. The trading rules are in Discord. I have this, these rules for a reason. And so that's a lot of things people don't understand. I'm trying to get to you guys, right? If you're up 10, 20, 30, $40 a contract and you're a small account, why are you holding? Why are you holding? Why are you putting stops of a buy on less than, a few contracts? If you're trading one contract, 5 contracts, or even 10 contracts, you don't need to be putting stops above buy, right? If it's unwinding in your favor, you need to be selling into that. That's how you get a P&L that's going to be nothing but rocketing up, because each of those moves stacked up every day are going to be good wins. It's going to be consistent sniper move wins. At that point, if you're holding $20, $30, $40, $50 a contract, what are you really looking for? It's a gambler's mindset. $100 a contract, you're looking to get rich in this one trade? No. You're already in your mind thinking of things that you're gonna pay already, right? You're already spending the money in your head. You say, oh, $100 more I can pay off this, or I can make back these losses. It's not about that. It's about the trade. You're not focused on the trade at all. Everyone's account is so different. I get it. We're all at different, amounts of money. And so I have these set rules for myself and you guys. My risk tolerance is different because I know more of the trade and what's going on than a lot of people that are kind of following me right now. I can lead you guys, to the winning trade, but if you don't walk out with the money, then what was the point? There's no point. Now, I'm not saying immediately, as you're up on the position, take the money and run. No, you need to understand what the trade is, right? So let's go with understanding where we were on Friday, right? If we kind of zoom out a little bit, and I put this on the watch list, and of course our game plans, we had a downtrend kind of breakout here. We held demands, we gapped up a little bit. You can still see some of the gap right here. It's highlighted for QQQ, and why I was so confident with QQQ calls at open, because I love this setup. Downtrend breakout, we held this demand right at open. We're opening above this demand, right? Supply turn demand, we got above it, we're opening above it. So that means when we open above it right here, the hourly is going to open up, and notice how the hourly pushed right up. That's exactly what we're looking for. So we ended up slamming some pretty good calls there, right at open. I told you guys I'm looking for that kind of right at open. Got the QQ 479s. You don't need to wait for me if you see this is happening and I'm telling you guys at open I'm going to slam them. Notice how it dipped a little bit. I would love to have got that retest like right here. And then we just rocketed up. We got those for like $100, $105, those QQ calls, and we came right up here. Now, another thing too, y'all don't realize this, but we had every reason to come up to this zone because of this last right here. It was a little bit of this sliver of this gap right here. Notice how we gapped up, or gapped down, I'm sorry, that Thursday, and notice how this was bullish right here. Bullish because we gapped down to this demand and they tried to eat most of it. I'm sorry, they tried to eat most of it, so this is actually bearish. If we held down here and then we'd have a reason to go up, this is actually bearish because they tried to eat this pre-market. Even though you're like, oh, we're trying to come back up, that's bullish. It's actually bearish. They tried to eat this so they can go lower, so they can have no reason to come up, but they couldn't quite do it because they rejected this supply. Obviously now demand because I turned it green, but this was red, so it was a supply. They rejected it there and then fell down. So we still had this sliver right here of that gap. Notice how it's basically just the zone. So I knew we were just gonna come test the zone, right? Zone to zone here. And so that's exactly what we did. So I slammed those calls, we rode it up to right here, and I sold the rest once we got right up here. I didn't like how much they're fighting it. We opened up down here, we're still up on our contracts for the runners. We pushed up, I'm all out, got out, 175, 176, 177. They ran to like 185, 190, all out. And then notice how we came right back down here for that retest. And then on the 15, you can honestly understand right here, this is a higher conviction setup as well. We printed this 15-minute candle right here. This is a reversal candle. Notice how on this reversal candle, we, came down, reversal candle, printed, and came right back up. You got to understand candlesticks too. This is where studying, this is where knowing patterns, this is where knowing kind of, your charts, this is where just knowing also, even if you didn't care about any of that, downtrend breakout, we're holding this demand still. No breakout here, or no breakdown here. We didn't break down yet. We're holding, boom. No reason to sell, calls. And now we're going into Monday with this kind of bull flagging here. Let's get on the hourly. And now we're bull flagging here. So we know if we open back up around this range, say we open up above this flag here, we know we're running to, this zone, this next zone up here. We do have another sliver of gap at like 490. So, more reason to kind of magnet up there. I wouldn't say we're going to do that Monday, but possible if we see more upside, we could easily run to that. And that's a reason to run up there because we have that liquidity. If we end up breaking down this flag right here, we'll get it under 477, like breaking down this zone, we're just going to drop right back down here. We still have this sliver of gap down here. Likely we come test that. And so you got to have those scenarios in your mind, guys. And trust your levels. Again, there's members that are frustrated because they're losing nonstop. I don't know how. I'm showing my P&L. All my P&L is literally from my trades that I'm alerting to you guys and taking myself. You gotta understand, if you're taking one contract, it's not gonna do anything because you're always gonna hold the loser longer than you're gonna hold the winner. It's just that's just a losing mentality. I would suggest at least getting 5 to 10 and selling into the move. Keeping, trying to nail your entry. Don't be, rushing into a trade, just nailing it. Just like that, some trades, happen right at open, right? Like this happened kind of right at open, took a few kind of minutes and then it started working, easily 15-30 minute trade right there. Or it could be like Apple where, we got in, right up here, which was, and then it took 2-3 hours for the whole thing to work. Took 2 hours. So again, it could be 2 hours, it could be 15 minutes, it could be 5 minutes. Gotta understand your levels, how fast it gets to your levels or not. So yeah, I'm seeing a lot of good setups going into Monday in this next week. So don't be discouraged or anything like that. Just have the better system, and that better system is something I've laid out for you guys. Trust the zones too. If you just want to play nothing but the zones, right? Say we broke down here, you took those puts right here in the first 15 minute that opened up under the zone right here. We lost it, first one. You slammed some puts there. Notice how you would have been zone to zone right there. You could have done it again here, took more, but notice how it came down here and there's a lot of support, right? There's a lot of demands. This is weekly kind of lows. Expect that. So I'm always trying to, give y'all updates. Careful with puts down here, but you could have taken them at 467 here, 467, 30-ish. This came down to 466, 40-ish, so that's $1 move. If you did on some lottos, you're up 10, 20, 30, 40%, or 10, 20, 30 bucks a contract. You should be selling into that, right, instead of holding for that next zone. If you want to, get most out and then sell into the zone, that's what stops you buy, see what happens, that's fine. But again, if you're only holding 5-10 contracts, just take the win. Stop trying to hold for the home run. The home run's gonna come with no effort, but you're gonna have to work for that sniping mentality. And so I proved that a lot. If you just follow the zones and stick to the sniper mentality, your P&L will grow, $100, $200, $300 a day. Runs up for the month, thousands of dollars. I've already shown that in the P&L, and I can post it more. But yeah, it's exactly that. So let me show you guys a live video real quick of kind of me using Turbo Trader on like a small position, just to kind of show y'all kind of how it works, I guess, and kind of just kind of how things are going. It was kind of end of day, so it was very slow, so I didn't have to do it kind of right at open. Sometimes right at open is a lot more hectic. Things are a lot more faster, in the morning, mid-morning, opposed to, lunch or around close. So here's a quick video kind of, how I was using it. So take a look at that. All right, so this is an open position right now for NVIDIA. This was from Friday. So It's pretty slow. You can see that I already entered the position, and I'm kind of just watching the option chart up here. You can see on the option chart up here that my sell orders are stacked. So I have them set, and you can see, when they hit and get taken out, which is super awesome. But it's super slow. You can see that. You can see the price between the contracts right here, 143, 144. I have one at 145, right? And notice you can see the full position down here, or what's your full position. But this is just an example for you guys. I wanted to show you. Pretty slow here, but you can see, it's still happening. You can see the Nvidia chart below that right there. So we're just watching. Notice how my first, that 145 got filled right there. And I'm kind of just looking at my stacked orders. I have it at 10, 20, 30, 40%, knowing that we should be pushed back in the range for Nvidia and those should get filled. So I'm kind of just watching it, and you can just see, and even then you can, take the orders off and then manually sell the ask, sell the bid, sell the market, depending on, what's kind of happening. But this is a very slow position. So you can see I'm rising some of those sell orders, adjusting it. So you can see, you don't have to stick to your original order, how quick it is to just cancel it, move it on the chart right there, or, or just do it manually, sell ask, sell bid, sell market. So super easy there. More of the story over this video is I give the game plans for you guys, laid out. I do all the hard work for you, the lotto watch list and the high conviction, setups, as well as the game plans for SPY and Q. That QQQ call at open Friday was just out of the game plans. So just stick to the game plans if you want to consistently win, and continuously book those wins as it's kind of moving in your favor. Don't be taking midday action. The mornings are, the best. End of days are kind of slower, but a lot, better than midday. Just stick to the plans, guys. You'll be good. I promise.